See, for example, manifestation doesn't work like you might think. Most people who are trying to manifest, they try to manifest for themselves. Which is why it doesn't work the way they want to. Maybe someone is trying to manifest money, and it actually works. They get the money, but the main problem is still there. They are, as soon as they have the money, they are afraid that the money might disappear, and it will, sooner or later. So that's not the main problem, and I think there's like two categories in spirituality, and the first category is all about the self. You know, it's about manifesting. People want to read tarot cards. People want to know how to attract a perfect relationship. And they don't understand why they want that. It's because they want that safety. But they don't know it. They think they're gonna be safe when they have the perfect relationship or a lot of money. But see, the thing is that as soon as you have something, before you have it, you want to have it because you think that your life is not safe because you don't have it. But as soon as you have it, you still think you're not safe because you something in you knows that you might lose it, and you will lose it, because you yourself, as a person, as a body, you've been born and you will die. So all that wealth, all relationships, they will vanish. So it's actually strange to know that, and at the same time, something in you kind of knows that there's something that cannot die. Because if you would fully accept that everything dies, you would just give up and just accept that, yeah, right? But everyone is looking for immortality, if they know it or not. No one can just accept that they are mortal. If everyone would accept that they are mortal, we would have a mass suicide on the whole globe, because nothing matters, right? Nihilism. But even people who are trying to believe in nihilism, they want to believe in nihilism because they want to have this sense of freedom. This sense of nothing matters anyway, so I can do what I want. I want to be free. But it's still for a self. There's someone who wants that freedom. But people make a philosophy around nihilism because it doesn't feel like it's enough. You know, it's still just a theory. It's not truth. Even though they seemingly accept that everything will, you know, nothing matters, it's not enough, you know? I mean, in the spirituality 101, people want to manifest. You know, you can take a spiritual person and give them the concept of you're free, you can do whatever you want, you're gonna die anyways, and you can manifest. Here's the money, you have a few $1 million, perfect relationship, the perfect house, the perfect car. But you know what happens to people who get all of this stuff? They're not happy. They don't feel rich. They don't feel wealthy. It's because even though they have all the things that they thought are going to give them a sense of safety, They have it all. They're not safe. They don't feel. And it's because, there's something missing. And it's very interesting to me. It's like all of this spiritual stuff and things you can do. You can read books about spiritual stuff and watch videos about it, and they'll never be satisfied. You're like this, I think it's called Ouroboros. It's the self-eating snake. People create, people consume their own creation, but they'll never be satisfied. It's like the yin is always chasing the yang. It never ends. So that's spirituality 101. It's a lot of spiritual people think they got it now because they're not materialistic anymore. They don't have an ego anymore, they think, because look at me, I'm spiritual. You are obviously materialistic. I'm much better than you, of course. I'm reading tarot cards and you're still trying to become a CEO. But you see, in order to be spiritual, you have to have an ego. So what to do? Obviously, having an ego is the source of suffering. But when I tell you that you have to get rid of your ego, you will only make your ego even stronger, because as soon as you have a mission to destroy your ego or to just get rid of it, to transcend your ego, there's no one who wants to transcend the ego except for the ego itself. So even if you're meditating and you say, you have this intention of, I'm gonna get rid of my ego now. And there's a thought coming in, no, it has to go away. You cut it like with a katana. That's gonna make your ego even stronger. So it seems like the devil knows what he's doing. You've been born in the world trying to have some success in the materialistic plane, and it didn't work. Then you try to have some success on a spiritual plane. Now you have everything, or maybe not. But it didn't work because you don't feel fulfilled. And even if you have everything, you have this daily impulses of, dopamine and just the happy hormones, There's still a part of you that's like scared to lose it. So you'll fail on the materialistic plane and you'll fail on the spiritual plane. And what's left? You want to become even higher. You're trying to become enlightened now. You're going to fail. You will fail. You cannot become enlightened. I'm not enlightened. As a person, I'm not enlightened. Even the Buddha failed. He lost everything. It's ironic because I was just talking about, accepting that everything will just vanish one day. Accepting that is called nihilism. So everything is meaningless. But the difference in awakening is that, the same realization that everything will just vanish. The difference is to realize that everything has meaning. There's not just me who's trying to find meaning in a hostile world, but I realize, as the ego, it doesn't matter if I'm trying to become successful or if I'm living under a bridge, I'm going to die anyway. So I am not trying to influence life. So I'm simply letting go. Because nothing works. Nothing works. It's like ego death is what it's called. People are afraid of that. They don't want to have a real ego death. Just let go. They rather want to become enlightened and meditate the whole day. But after years of trying, they're gonna realize it doesn't work. They become frustrated. Then they give up on the materialistic plane, on the spiritual plane, and on the satsang enlightenment plane. They're just gonna give up. Everyone has to, because it doesn't work. There's no one who has ever got it. Then, when you've given up fully, as the ego, you become very present. Because there's nothing left. What to do? There's nothing in the future. Nothing matters anyway. The past, I can't heal my past. It didn't work. There's always something to heal. So I'm a project and I cannot end it. There's no end to this project called me. So let's just give up. It doesn't work anyway. So there's nothing in the past I want to heal. There's nothing in the future I want to accomplish. There's just now. And even now there's like nothing that interests me. You become very present, and the will to live dies, and even the will to be depressed sounds strange, but that dies too. It's just, then you become very present, just like a newborn child. You start to forget everything. And then there's just that. You don't name it. There's no one trying. You don't even care who you are, because who are you anyway? And it's like waking up. Because you trying to heal your past after realizing what I've just described will feel like you've woken up from a dream. Like, who was trying to heal the past? Like, what past? There's no past. I can't see it. Who was trying to accomplish something in the future? Can't see a future. There's just now. Without calling it now. And that's just, then you're not gaining something from it. You're losing death. You're losing even me. People who are believing in a nihilistic theory, they still have something. They have a theory called nihilism. They're holding on to that theory, but in waking up, you even lose the concept of meaninglessness. There's no meaning, but there's also no meaninglessness. There's just everything and nothing. Everything appearing in nothing. And if you feel like you are watching this video because you were hoping that I have something that I could give you, like I can share an information, who wants to have that information? Who wants to wake up? Like it's already here. Who's trying to wake up? Before asking the question, but how can I? People are always coming like, but in my circumstance, I have a very special circumstance. How can I wake up in this particular circumstance? Before asking such questions, just look, can you observe the question? The one who's observing is already dead because it has never been born. The observer has never interacted in this world. I like to watch Muji and his videos, and I watched a lot of his videos in the past, and there were a lot of different people with different questions about their individual circumstances, and he was always pointing to the same answer every time. We're not doing therapy here. It's the end of therapy because the one who needs therapy doesn't exist. And it's not that you are eliminating something. You're just recognizing a fata morgana. Something I did when I was trying to wake up is I thought that as soon as I've woken up, something will click. I'll have a different feeling. My traumas will just fade away because the I who is taking possession of the trauma will die, so the trauma will die also. But there's just trauma, but no I. That's why before waking up, you're chopping wood and carrying water. And after waking up, you're still chopping wood and carrying water. There's no difference. But instead of feeling that you are a person living life, you start to be life, pretending to be a person. That's all that happens. And it never happens. It never happened. It was always like that.